The fact of the matter is that impossible is only impossible until one human being decides it's possible. Top of it, team, Coach E. And you know what time it is. It's time to leverage your life. Now, if you didn't know, your life is your business. And if you're not living the life that you desire and deserve, it's probably because you're not minding your business. Now, if you're not minding your business, it might be because you don't know where your business is, and that's fine. You in the right place. Now, today, I want to speak on a particular person that a lot of y'all who grew up in my generation may know by the name of Deion Prime Time Sanders. He's the topic of discussion today. Very interesting character, and I'm going to give you a brief history about him. So, Deion, a Florida boy, grew up in the projects, absent father, single mother. She put him in youth sports to keep him out of trouble. He got into youth sports and excelled. By the time he get to high school, he's a triathlete. Triathlete means that he's competing in three different sports. He was playing basketball, well, not basketball. I think it was football, track, and baseball. Now, a lot of kids play a lot of sports, and they're average. But Deion was special because not only did he play three sports, he excelled in each sport he played. He was so good at baseball that by the time he was a senior in high school, the Kansas City Royals wanted to offer him a contract for $75,000 to play. At that time, that was a lot of money, especially for a kid coming out the projects, raised by a single mother, and didn't have a lot. But Deion, having long range vision and vision period, skipped on going pro out of high school because he also was offered a full ride scholarship to Florida to play cornerback. Now, I'm pretty sure he had a lot of other offers, but he was from Florida. He was in Florida, so it probably made more sense. He was closer to his mom. So he decided to go the college route. While in college, he maintained his triathlete abilities. The guy was an elite baseball player in college, an elite track runner, and an elite football player. So not only did he play all these sports, but he played all these sports at the highest level. While in college, and I didn't know this, but I found this out, he created the character Prime Time. And he did it because he seen that the position of corner in football wasn't a very high paying position. And so he wanted to add more celebrity and more attention to that position so he can better his prospects for when he went to the NFL. Now remember, he turned down from baseball scouts $75,000. So his vision was, hey, if they're going to offer me 75 as a high school level player, then if I get a little better, play a little bit longer, build up my celebrity, build up my value, I can demand a little bit more and have more leverage at the negotiation table. Very smart man. So he plays 3 years in college level. On his third year, they become national champions. Storybook ending. But he doesn't decide to complete college. He was getting so many offers from the pros, he decided to go pro. So by his junior year, Deion Sanders goes pro. So triathlete in high school, triathlete in college. Now he goes pro. You say, okay, triathlete shit is over. Yeah, it is. But he plays dual professional sports. One of only two people I know to do that, him and Bo Jackson. Something that is in a lot of ways frowned upon, possibly by the general population who don't know shit, just want to give their opinion all the time because they spectators. But this man didn't drink and didn't smoke and didn't do anything to damage his body like the typical people that come from his surroundings, because when he seen the crack houses and he seen the drug abusers, he had the reverse effect. He didn't want to be a part of it. So he was in tip top health and tip top shape, and he wanted to push his body to the limit. And he said, well, shit, if I've been playing three sports through high school and I've been playing three sports through college, shit, I can play two sports as a pro. It's just two sports. I've been playing three sports all my life for approximately 7 years. Okay, so he goes pro. Now, when he goes pro, he signs a professional contract, and not to mention, he actually did 3 months for the Yankees at $75,000 while still in college or in his last year in college. But he actually goes pro when he leaves college after his junior year. So now he's playing for the Falcons as a football player, and then he's playing for the Braves as a baseball player. So this man excelled on every level high school, playing sports as a triathlete, excelled on every level in college as a triathlete, and now he's in the pros. Now it's time to really show and prove. And what does he do? He lives up to all the hype. He is playing at an elite level as a pro in two sports. Not only that, one day he played both sports in the same day. A Sunday where he played baseball in the afternoon, chartered a plane to go play football in the evening. The season where he played baseball, the team went on to win the National League champion. Not the World Series, the National League champion. That same season, he went on and he played football and excelled at that level as well. After playing with Atlanta for a while, he decided that the culture there wasn't a culture of winning, and he wanted to go somewhere where he wanted to win because he was used to winning. Remember, in college, he took his baseball team to the College World Series. In football, they were world champions or national champions. So he had been used to being a champion and playing at a high level. Obviously, Atlanta wasn't bringing that level of game for him, even though he was becoming a star. So he decided to go to the 49ers. His first year playing as a 49er, he won the Super Bowl. He was one of the highest paid corners in history. And not to mention that, he was one of the top baseball players. This man defied all science, all logic, and all what we know as to be normal and to be average. See, it would have been good enough for this man to excel at football alone, and he still would have went down in history as one of the greatest athletes of all time. It would have been good enough for him to go to baseball alone, and he still would have been down in history as one of the greatest athletes of all time, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But he decided to play two sports. Now, why his story stands out to me is because you always hear these people try to tell you how you should do something in life. You got people that may say, oh, just focus on one thing. And if you focus on one thing all the way to the end, that's the only way you're going to see. You can't have a lot of different things going on because, jack of all trades, master of none, you know what I'm saying? And all that other bullshit that motherfuckers try to feed you. Because, again, people can only, project their own ideas of themselves on other people. A person can't tell you what to do if he can't believe he can do it for himself. That's just how the human mind is built. So if a man doesn't believe he can play two sports on a professional level, he wouldn't encourage another man to do it. And so the limitations that we placed on our life are collectively created by us agreeing to what we can do based on what has already been done. So a lot of people don't reach for the impossible because they base what they can do on what's already been done. But records are meant to be broken. And Deion Sanders broke a lot of them because he decided not to fit into the mold of what possible was for the average man. And there was three main things that I picked up for him that allowed him to create this mindset and this monster. And I call it the Deion effect. And I need you entrepreneurs to tap into this. The first thing was he was unapologetically, or he unapologetically believed in himself. He had what I like to call and what I like to talk about a lot is audacity, not ambition. He had ambition, but he was audacious. How do I know this? Well, when he was in high school, he had the ability to leave after his senior year and go play pro. He could have said, I'm a kid from the projects. My mama ain't got shit. We need the money right now. There's a lot of money they throwing on the table for me. It's some life-changing money for a cat like me. Let me go ahead and get this money and do what I need to do. And I'm a go pro anyway. So it's like I'm going to just start early. But he had so much belief in himself that he turned down the money and instead accepted the full ride scholarship to the Florida State College to play football, because what he wanted to do was he wanted to increase his value. He had long-term vision. See, when you believe in yourself, you have long-term vision. You don't take the first thing that come on the table, because you know, can't nobody take my gifts. Now, anything can happen. He could have had a freak accident and it would have allowed him never to play football or baseball again. He could have injured himself in college and never been able to reach the pros. He probably could have had a million things happen, kind of probably been shot on the streets. You know, anything could have happened. But he was willing to bet and gamble on himself because he believed in himself that much that he put a hold on taking the $75,000 contract to play pro baseball with the Kansas City Royals. And he said, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to add more value to myself. I'm going to get more better and I'm going to get a better deal because I'm going to bring more cards to the table so that I can have better leverage in negotiations. And that's exactly what he did. You have to unapologetically believe in yourself. Second thing, he had a winner's mindset. When he was playing with the Falcons, he excelled and played at a high level. But something that he said in an interview hit me. He said, I was used to winning, but I was on a team that was trying to get me used to losing. I was like, man, that's a deep statement. It's kind of a diss to the Falcons. Like, bro, y'all losers is what he basically saying. And I'm not used to losing. And y'all trying to get me to lose. But I wanted to dig a little deeper. So I was like, maybe what Deion Sanders was trying to say is that the culture at the Atlanta Falcons and the philosophy towards winning wasn't the same as his, because I believe that the Atlanta Falcons wanted to win Super Bowls. They wanted to be a championship caliber team, but he didn't feel like they were doing what was necessary to become that. And so Deion Sanders, when his contract was up, went to the 49ers. And ironically, but not coincidentally, the dude win a Super Bowl the first year he get there. Why? Because he's seen that as a winner, I have to be in environments with winners. I have to be around winners. I have to be in a area that facilitates winners, that promotes winning, that wants to win. If not, I'm not going to win. And that's what winners do. And that's what a winner mindset will take you. Some people might look at it and say that's selfish. But how is it selfish? If I'm a winner and I'm going to help this team win, I need the team also to have a mutual understanding and have a shared philosophy on winning. That's not selfish. That's saying that in order for me to make this a winning team, you have to have the same attitude towards winning that I do. And if we don't, there's a disconnect. So if you're in a group that don't have the same philosophy towards winning, then you need to exit that group and go with a group that does, because it's all for one, one for all. The group is for the individual, individual for the group. We both need each other, but in order for us to get to our objective, we both have to align with our philosophy and our mentality towards winning. And the Falcons didn't do that for Deion. The 49ers did. And it was evident in the fact that when he went there the first year, he gets a Super Bowl ring because he's around winners. Winners win. And Deion Sanders had the winner's mindset. The last thing Deion Sanders had was, and this is something people take for granted, but imagination. Imagination. Let me explain. In college, he created the persona or the alter ego Primetime. Why did he create Primetime? Because what he was attempting to do was create an alter ego, create a persona, create a character that was larger than life, and then project himself in that character to live up to the hype, to become the hype. It was a marketing plan. It was a way to make the position that he had get more fame and popularity so he can demand more. It was a play to give him more leverage in negotiations. It was a way to help him stand out in the crowd. But he had to use his imagination and he had to believe in his own hype. So what he did was he created the character Primetime. And this was a flamboyant character who wore jewelry, had a hat to the side. He said when he was in college, he drove around in a drop top and he had a cell phone, things that the average college student didn't do. But he created this persona that he was going to live up to. And the crazy thing about Deion is he's one of the few, like Muhammad Ali, like Mike Tyson, like LeBron James, like Floyd Mayweather, who can talk that shit and back that shit up. And that's what he did every time. So though a lot of people didn't like the character of Prime Time, they thought he was too commercial. They thought he wasn't the wholesome, blue-blooded idea of what a sports athlete should be. The objective that he needed to get to was created. And let me tell you something, everybody benefited off that character because he sold a hell of a lot of tickets. So you can complain, and the spectators and the commentators can complain about, oh, this ain't the wholesome, this ain't the ideal or the role model we want to put in front of kids. But at the end of the day, this nation is run by capitalism, and he was putting asses in them seats and making them owners rich, and so they was cool with it. Let the spectator spectate. He was making himself rich. But the thing about it, why I accept the persona, because to me, anybody could say anything they want to say as long as they can back that shit up. And he was backing that shit up. And I think that's what irritates people a lot too. When you can talk that shit and back that shit all the way to fuck up. So those are the three things I took from what I like to call the Deion effect. First thing is that you got to be a person that's unapologetically believing in yourself. Second thing, you got to cultivate the winner's mindset and go where the winners are and win like the winners win. And lastly, you got to have imagination. You got to have the ability to create this ideal of yourself that you will strive and do whatever it takes to live up to. You got to have the bite behind the bark. You got to. There's no other way to do it. That's the Deion effect. Every entrepreneur should be able to have that, needs to adapt that. So like my boy Bedros Koulian say, so you can be the 2.0 version of yourself. Those are the three things. Just those three things. That's all you need. Before you go, like, follow, subscribe, go to my Instagram, follow, go to my TikTok, follow, go to my other YouTube pages, follow, like, subscribe. I got a webinar coming up on August the 7th, and it will be discussing ways to create an AI proof business in the blue collar sector that is slept on, but is guaranteed to give you the type of cash flow and type of income on a level of a doctor working as an independent contractor. Also got more courses coming up. Also got more books coming out. So I want y'all to stay tuned and stay tapped in. Check out my website, coache.co, if you're looking for mentorship, if you're looking for any help with business scaling, if you're looking for business coaching, if you need a speaker to speak at your event, tap in with me through my website, coache.co, or you can email me and let's get this work in. Because there's people out here that need me, and guess what? I'm out here for you. I'm at my best when I'm making people better. And remember, don't be good, be good at it.